Okay, so I'm doing a little video for you because it's easier just to do it this way. This is exactly what we are doing. It says the North Rim, the overnight shuttle that follows the North Rim of Yosemite Valley from east to west, beginning at Big Oak Flat Road and skirts the top of El Cap to Eagle Peak to Yosemite Falls. Now, that's where we're actually probably gonna cut it because it's normally a 33 miles, but we're actually gonna do 17 because we're gonna come down Yosemite Falls if we want to. Now, if we want to do the extra portion of it, we can. I'm just gonna make sure that we don't overdo it. So our early exit and our main plan is Yosemite Falls. So the really neat thing is that it follows an old creek bed for the most part. And I think we can take a shuttle out there on Tuesday. So it says the hike, formerly charcoal covered slope, now recovering, cross the north side of the ridge where thousands of ponderosa pines are here just because of a number of desperate nestling sites or hollowed out burned trees. There's actually been a lot of wildfires out there. Several tributaries, Wildcat Creek, Dogwood, azaleas continue on Tamarack Creek, which might be tricky to cross until mid-season. Huge leaves of Indian rhubarb and the size of dinner plates line the creek. And when they are in bloom, the flower clusters seem to poke right up in the center of the leaves. A little farther on, across a small branch of Cascade Creek, which will reach a now abandoned old Big Oak Flat Road at 4 miles. Turn right or south. The left forks back up to Tamarack Creek Flat Campground and Tioga Road. Cross the main fork at Cascade Creek at the bridge. There's a campsite on the south side of the creek above the bridge, but be sure to fill up your bottles with filtered water and treated water because there is a long, hot climb ahead. So that would be like day 2 if we're going to do 4 miles a day. Continue down Old Road to mile 4.6 where the asphalt becomes almost obliterated and all the way blocked by a pile of logs you see to the left. And at a sign but easily missed junction, begin a steep climb up partially forested slope ridgeline in which you follow to the highest point, descend to Ribbon Meadow, the thick forested boggy buggy. Yes, that's what I'm worried about. So we need mosquito netting. Snow often lingers late in the shady sections, but the red metal trail markers, which they're not as good as the Appalachian Trail in my opinion, are high on the trees and help you stay on track. Ribbon Creek itself is narrow. So this is a pretty picture. Might not even notice it if we cross it. This route crosses Ribbon Creek, beyond which there is some camping if the stream is still flowing and then begins to climb again, but it cuts back north around the edge of El Capitan Gully, down which there is a stomach-lurching view of Yosemite Valley. You can set a deceptively flat summit of El Capitan ahead of you now, and just as soon as the junction with the spur of the trail atop appears. There's no sign, but if you happen to miss the junction and walk straight ahead of you, you will find yourself on the summit. The main trail makes a left turn at the northeast at a cairn, C-A-I-R-N, cairn. The view from here is all that you would expect it to be. So this is what we will see from the view. Okay. Says return to the main trail by turning to the right, descend into the forest, over which open slabs where you have to watch for ducks. I'm thinking not like the quack quack ducks, but I'm thinking like it's trees ducks. Okay, but who knows because this book's a little old. We will be at 7,779 feet at the highest of the 3 brothers that form the pile of granite boulders at the top. You will see almost the entire park. Back on the North Rim, you continue over mushy ground along Eagle Peak Meadow to meet Yosemite Creek Trail coming up from Tioga Road, and there is some camping to the forest on the left of the trail where you reach this junction. This is a good spot to keep in mind if you want to spend the night at the top of Yosemite Falls. Since camping within 0.25 of the rim is prohibited, and descend into another junction at 16.9, where you'll be sweating and panting panting hikers toiling up from the valley floor. Okay, so that kind of marks day 2. All right, and then day 3, we're gonna go down. So at 17 miles, we're gonna actually go down into the valley while all of these people are coming up. So that's where I'm gonna stop reading. Now we could continue, but this is kind of the elevation map for what we're doing. So yeah. Here is a map basically showing us from the top of Yosemite Falls overlook, okay? And then we're gonna come down, there's lots of little switchbacks, and we come back down into the valley floor, okay? So, and out and back from the top to the bottom is actually 7.6 miles, but obviously we're only doing half of that on the last day, so that shouldn't be too difficult, so we can definitely take our time. It will all be downhill though, I will tell you that. I have hiked this before, so it's been a while, but I have to kind of give you another perspective. This is the part where we read all of this, okay? So, but as I said, we will actually at 17.1 be coming down rather than doing this. So we'll actually we'll be doing that whole yellow line. Then there's El Capitan. And then there's Yosemite Point and Yosemite Falls, all right? Now, if we wanted to, we could continue on to the North Dome, up over Indian Rock, and then down into Tenaya Canyon, and then back into Curry Village and Mirror Lake. Mirror Lake in Happy Isles is basically where Backpacker Camp is. And so that's where we'll stay the first night, and probably one of the other nights as well. You're not allowed to do continuous like overstays, and so that's one of the little tricky games we gotta play.